This is the video review for the Iron Man 2 movie series Mark III armor. This was the armor he was wearing at the end of the first movie. And as it is, he's got the stand and the cards, just like every other figure. And then the figure itself. Now all of these other ones came with some sort of accessory, some of which made sense, some of which it didn't, and he's got one of the ones that did not. The figure, I would have been happy with the figure itself. It is nicely posable. With the feet are a little limited. The double hinged knees, the shoulders, and we just have the shoulder pads here that if you lift his arms up too high, they do pop off, but they do pop right back on. That's one of the minor flaws of this figure, is that the shoulder pads, unlike on War Machine and some of the others that have some movable shoulder pads, they pop off. They're just kind of pegged on there. He's got one open hand here and a closed fist. It limits posability a little bit, especially since this open fist can only rotate, so even when you hold his hand up, it doesn't really... I feel like his hand should be tilted a little bit further back to really get a good repulsor blast pose. But it is there. This, like I said, this is a guy that I had a lot of trouble with the hips on, and even now, really takes some effort to move that hinge in the middle of the ball. The ball rotates just fine now, which I also had some trouble with at first, was the ball just didn't want to rotate at all. But that hinge is still very, very stuck. It moves, but it's a little bit of a pain. So he's got the chest hinge here. His head's on a ball joint. And on this one, on the Mark III, it actually gives you a little bit of range to look up and down. Whereas on the Mark VI, and I've heard the same issue with the Mark IV, it really does. It really kind of sticks the head down like that, and doesn't give you a whole lot of leeway to move it up a little bit. So that's one of the advantages to the Mark III. And I personally like the Mark III armor quite a bit. But anyway, his useless accessory, as I was explaining earlier, is this armor pack thing that fits over his head like this. So I want to just add some bulk. He's got like a thruster or something on the back, I'm not sure. And then the whole action feature here is you can flip these really soft rubbery panels up so they warp anyway. Come up, and I'm not sure if those are supposed to be weapons or braking thrusters or what. And you can see it doesn't really fit over his head very well, or come down on the chest low enough so it keeps coming up into his face. Just seems like really a waste. And I get, you know, hey, we're trying to make these look like they have more play value, but I would have been happy with just the figure. Maybe even knock it down $1 and not include this, and I'd have been happy. But whatever, it's Hasbro, they're going to do what they want. And I think the Mark III is definitely one worth picking up. I think you can just throw this out if you don't care for it, because, I mean, I'm going to hang on to it because I do, but it's not ever going to be displayed on him ever. So kind of worthless there. And like I said, you're essentially paying a little bit extra for this action feature, which sucks. But that's my only real drawback to this figure. I like the movement. Like I said, I had problems with his hips, but that's more of a quality control thing, because I've heard people having trouble with their Mark VI hips, and my Mark VI hips were fine. So it really is just a matter of, you know, investigate it as best you can. The hips are something that you can't really tell out just looking at it in the package. Some of the paint jobs are atrocious, and some of them are pretty decent. I had to go through like 5 or 6 Mark IIIs before I found one that had a decent paint job. But so definitely investigate them before you buy them, and hope for the best on the hips. But there it is, the Iron Man 2 movie series Mark III armor.